Joining us in the studio this morning on Triple J, one of the massive headline acts of the 2011 Big Day 8 tour. You know him, you love him. He's got a record coming out later this year. Mr. Lupe Fiasco, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Thanks for being here.
How you doing?
Especially under the not the best circumstances, Lupe. Your beloved Chicago Bears were knocked out of the
How'd you bring that up?
the NFL championships for this year.
Moving on.
Before the Super Bowl.
Moving on.
You don't want to talk about it?
No.
Okay. Well, let's leave it at the past.
Yes, thank you.
They did better than a lot of teams though, so they played
Alex,
well.
please. It's obviously...
Please stop.
It's
Okay.
a dagger.
Sorry.
Listen, let's
I'm
not
sorry.
start bringing up Australian rugby and all this other. Let's not get into that. Let's keep it nice and cordial.
All right.
They did okay, and we'll move on.
We'll move on.
Right.
Fair enough. Well, I would like to ask you about your forthcoming record, Lasers.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, taking or sampling or covering the Modest Mouse track, Float
Yeah.
On. How did you come across this track? Do you know the Modest Mouse dudes? How did this tune come about?
It's actually the producer. I had nothing to do with it because I didn't produce the track. And it was kind of given to me by the record company, and it came as that. It was like Modest Mouse sample. We got to clear the sample, and I was like, all right. But it come to find out that the Modest Mouse guys were fans, and they kind of expeditiously cleared the sample for us and kind of got it out the way with no real headaches. And then I went back to actually listen because I didn't catch it, because I think Float On came out in 2004.
Yeah.
So I didn't catch it off the bat like everybody else did. I went back and listened to Float On and was like, oh, I know this song.
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
You spent a bit of time with the record company holding on to it. Were they just building the anticipation? Is that why they held the finished product? Why did they hold it back for a while?
They were being dirty bastards.
That's one way of putting it. Was that a frustrating process? I mean, we had the call in 2007, an amazing record, and there was so much hype and a lot of anticipation around this new release. Was that a really frustrating period for you trying to get that out there?
Yeah, it was very, very, very frustrating, very taxing physically, very taxing mentally, spiritually, emotionally, like everything that goes into it. Because it, when you're a musician, and when your whole thing is putting out music, everything that you're about is putting out music. You're tied to it every possible way. You don't pick up the phone for your mother because you're in the studio, kind of a situation. And then when the fruits of that is kind of like, just this corporate standoffishness, it breaks you down. It really puts you in a really weird place,
So what did you do while that was done? You finished the product. It's not getting released. What did you take up your time with?
I went on tour. I came to Australia.
Beautiful. Well, thank you for that. Thank you very much for that.
No, seriously, I came out here. We kind of put together a little world tour, just trying to get out. And we went to Australia. We came here, went to Asia, went back to the U.S., did like a little run there. And really just kind of had to reaffirm why I do music, and it's not for the studio, it's not for the albums in the stores. That's great, but it's more for on stage connecting with your fans. And we kind of had to get back into that, to kind of like gas ourselves up to be like, this is why we're going through this, and this is why you're putting yourself in this situation and taking these L's, because this is where you want to be at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And it kind of showed a little bit of independency from the record company. It was like, yo, okay, you guys can mess up with this and mess with that, but you can't stop me from doing this. You can't stop me from being on stage and with my fans.
Let's talk about you being on stage with your fans. I caught your show earlier in the week, and it was genuinely pumping. It was so hot in this venue, and the crowd were really up for it, and we're having a lot of fun. But there's a couple of people caught you the big day out as well, and there seems to be you've had a couple of technical difficulties on this tour.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Had some. Don't trust Pro Tools. There's some things that you can prepare for, and you could prepare, and that was kind of like the fault on my team, is we weren't thoroughly prepared for a major meltdown, in front of 30,000 people.
Yeah.
So we kind of took since the last Big Day Out show, we've been kind of just making sure that we have plan B, plan C, plan D, everything kind of mapped out, but we just literally had some Pro Tools failures, like Pro Tools just literally crashing, on stage, and it takes time to get it rebooted, and then it'll reboot and crash again, and reboot and crash again.
I guess it'd be especially annoying because what you said before, you were so frustrated in that realm of the record company holding back the album, and you
Maybe
came
the
out
record company's put a virus into your Pro Tools, man.
You come out to get away from it all, and these things. Well, how do you stay positive in a time like this?
You just gotta smile. Shout out to my guitar player Eric Hammer. I got a wonderful guitar player, and whenever it's like, whenever it's crazy, because I look at my tech crew and it's like, but I look at my guitar player and he's just like, F it, you know, just rock it, forget it, let's just rock, you know, and he'll smile, and I'm like, okay.
Hey, can we talk about aliens? I saw this interview with you, and you mentioned that you had an alien encounter. Is that right?
Yeah, because it's unexplained, you know, and you can't really explain it. People have things that happen to them, and it's like, I wonder what that just was.
Yeah.
And I had when I was like 11 years old, I had a 10 or 11 years old, I had a full-on weird experience, you know.
Yeah.
And then, you know, you look down at your ankle one day, and it's like, I don't ever remember that being there.
Now, what did you discover on your ankle?
Is that an alien implant in my Achilles tendon right there? No, it was just like a little skull. Like I had a really weird experience, like early in the morning, and like that. It was just super, super weird. Like it felt like I was floating, electricity, noise, black disc flying off.
Where were you at the time? Were you in bed or?
Yeah, I was laying down.
Yep.
And I had this really weird alien, what I perceived to be an alien encounter. And I had this really weird scar on my leg that I never saw before that. And saw it after that, and I was like, yo, I might have an alien implant in my leg.
Right. So what do you think it's for? Just to keep tabs on you wherever you go?
Or we got iPhones, and these aren't aliens, and they know exactly where we are in BlackBerry, so why not?
Yeah, well, I mean, I mean, a lot of people hear that and think, well, Lupe's crazy. What are you doing? But then, how do you react to people saying
everybody's crazy? Everybody's crazy. Everybody has a weird, crazy, ridiculous experience. I really don't care because it doesn't really. I don't really care if you think I'm weird or not. I'm a musician. Yeah. We're all weird. It just adds to the whole mystique of being a crazy musician.
Can you make that alien noise again one more time? Thank you very much. Well, thanks so much for talking to Triple J. It's a pleasure to have you on the show, man.
Appreciate it, boys.
Cheers. Have a good day.
Thank you.